Alright, hello. This is BentlBuilds and welcome to Red River and City Skylines. I know it's been a minute again, but I have a for real solution this time. So basically, here's the deal. I have just raging ADHD, and so, as I've mentioned before, trying to talk while building, really difficult. What's also really difficult is to try and build things in little sections, just little bite-sized pieces that I can edit together into a video, because when I start working on a project, I just want to finish it. And so, stopping partway through to edit because the video would be too long, things like that, just doesn't work for my silly little brain. So what I'll be doing instead is I will just build stuff on my own time, and then every so often I will pop in and show you guys what I've done. That way I can give the commentary that I'd like to give, while also avoiding a lot of the things that have made it difficult to make these videos. So that's what we're going to do. And that way, too, you guys will be able to watch the city actually operate. I don't like to let it just run while I'm building. I like to have it on pause because I'm not interested in, random fires popping up. As you can see, it happens all the time. And I know there's a setting that you can find to fix it, but I just would rather not deal with it at all. So it's on pause. So as you can see, there's a lot of things that have changed. First off, there was that weird gap in the middle of the city. I filled it in with a baseball stadium, this apartment complex, and then some office buildings. I also put in this hotel and then a parking structure. So, not to brag or anything, but I have recently discovered the joys of Move It, and I have just been splicing buildings together left and right, all willy-nilly. So this monstrosity, that's what that is. And I don't know if this was the most aesthetically good idea, but I feel like it works in my mind. This hotel is fancy, when other teams come to play, they'll stay in this hotel. There, rates for fans, things like that. I don't know, but that kind of idea. So it's all kind of together. And over here, I've done a lot of growing in downtown. It's filled out a little bit better. I really appreciate it. Look at how many random burn spots there are. There's one over here, one over here. They're just all over. So you'll notice this building right here. City Hall up here on the hill. This bad boy, not getting replaced. Don't you worry. This is the county building. And my idea behind it is, it's fairly central and it's in a cool spot, kind of on a park with these rail bridges and stuff. It makes it feel just kind of dope. And originally, the county seat was Small Rock over here. This was the county building. This bad boy right here. Look at all those people waiting for buses. I love that. Anyway, naturally, that building has been outgrown. So the county seat was moved, despite the people of Small Rock wanting to cling on to their feeling of importance, and now it's here. And it's an awesome building, and I love it so much, and it fits really well. I also came in over here, filled in this area a little more with a little office park kind of thing. I put in this quay thing. I still haven't done a ton of detailing yet for the park that'll be on the riverfront, but that will be coming. Don't you worry. Coming over here, you've seen the airport. There's a lot over here that you have not seen. I have been a busy boy. So first of all, I want to show you guys, I've also put some stuff in over here. Kind of started to get this going. I also decided to bury all of the railroad tracks for traffic, to avoid traffic problems. And so far, it has been working swimmingly. I am very proud of this. It looks a little funky. Some of these buildings are right on the edge, but it's fine. It adds character. Also, I don't know what happened, but all of my cool, like, old factory buildings disappeared. Once again, this is why I like to not just let it roll, because then stuff like this happens and I don't even notice. So, I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to get to this in a second. I want to show you guys. I did the neighborhood streets up here on the hill. So, I haven't gotten to this point yet where I'll be putting housing in, but eventually it's going to be big old fancy houses up here, and it's going to be pretty dope. So now we're going to come over here to the East Bank neighborhood, which I am so proud of. I think it looks so good. You can see lots of higher density filled in right here. This is, I don't know. I just really like how this turned out. I didn't originally plan on having this be higher density, but as I was working on it, I decided that it would work pretty well for it to be. So this road just goes all the way through, and it's got a lot of stuff going on. Also, there's this big old hospital that's kind of in the middle, and it kind of messes with the skyline, but also, maybe this is just my experience, but I feel like every city has a random massive hospital that's not in the city, but it's like kind of adjacent to it, that just looks kind of weird, but it feels realistic. It feels like something that would happen. So this is the East Shore neighborhood. I think it looks just awesome. I actually, when I originally started on this, I put in the disaster center thing because buildings kept burning down, and then I couldn't get rid of them because I needed one of these. So I put this in, and then I wanted to put some larger buildings around it so it wouldn't just stick out. And I would say I did a pretty good job because you can barely even tell that it's there. Like it fits in pretty well. So feeling good about that. Next thing, we're gonna zoom out some more to the city of Ponderosa, which is basically gonna be a kind of a suburb, but you know, it's an extension of Red River. You can see here, there's Ponderosa University. It's very big, very green. Love to see it. Come down in here. Okay, one thing that has always bothered me about city skylines is that, you know, you'll get these big high school buildings, and then the range is like this much. And so what I did is I built the Ponderosa High School campus right here, and then all of the other high schools I placed around it for good coverage, those are basically satellite campuses, which it doesn't matter, but in my mind it matters, you know? So for Ponderosa, obviously I already built the university, got that all detailed and finished up. It looks so fun. I'm very proud of it. And then also, I would just like to point out that I did, like I said, all of the splicing the buildings together. Look at all of these dorm buildings, though, like how they're all kind of put together, and I think it's pretty fun. So that's what's going on over here. The main street for Ponderosa technically is this one right here. You can kind of tell. I also placed in more assets before I let the game do the rest, just so that I can have a little more say in what goes where and all that kind of stuff. So quote-unquote downtown Ponderosa is obviously a little bit more developed. It's not like huge, but you know, there's lots of townhomes, lots of apartments, some higher end shopping, obviously a Trader Joe's, an REI over here, California Pizza Kitchen, because that's obviously, you know, to be fancy, gotta eat there. And the way that I laid this out also is that Main Street comes up this way, and then this this highway splits into one ways on either side. So it's kind of got three main streets coming through it, but I think it works really well. The most important part about this section of Ponderosa is Waffle House. It needed to have a Waffle House, and it does. And that makes Ponderosa just so much better than everywhere else right now, because it has Waffle House. Naturally, right off the freeway, big ugly sign, everything about it is perfect. We're gonna come over here now, come up Main Street in Ponderosa. Because it's off the freeway and this is the southwestern United States, I kind of figured there's going to be a lot of people who are doing road trips through this area. I also put in a Mormon church. How funny is that? The only reason why I was like, okay, I'll put that in is because it like doubles as like a clinic or something. Anyway, so there's Mormons. I also put in like a Catholic church. They're like, for the religious people. But yeah, so I figured, people would be coming through here on road trips. This would be a pretty desirable place to stop. So I put several hotels right along this strip, right off the freeway, and then other, fast food, Panda Express, Wendy's, just, the basics. I also have these over here. I might get rid of these. I'm not really sure how I want to develop this out. It's kind of a weird shape, so not really sure. Still pondering that. You will also notice, that was actually kind of funny. I said ponder, and we're in Ponderosa. That's pretty great. You will also notice that all of the streets that have trees within the city of Ponderosa are lined with pine trees rather than, whatever crap they have going on in Red River. Because in Ponderosa, they are really committed to the whole everything needs to be pine tree related. So all the streets are lined with pine. And over here, you can see this is going to be Red River University. Haven't quite started on that yet, but we will get there. So I showed you the university here. I seriously love this. So this is Ponderosa City Hall. It's like really fancy, and this orange glass matches all of this so well. So this is the City Hall, and then the City Park is right here, and I built an amphitheater because it was like the perfect location to do it. So I, got the pine, like it just looks so good. If you're a performer, you've got this amazing backdrop. If you're watching the show, and you fall over, you'll see the sky. But if you're watching the show, also amazing backdrop. So some pretty amazing shows obviously happen here. And then what else did I want to point out? Oh yeah, so I pretty much went on a railroad burying spree. I did so much because I realized after I built this section of East Bank neighborhood, I was so irritated with the train track that I was like, okay, I just need to bury this because I feel like that'll make it easier to work with. And it kind of was, kind of wasn't. Easier in its own ways, less easy in others. You know how it goes. So the next feature in Ponderosa is the business district, which also caught on fire, obviously, because why wouldn't it? I know that if I went easier on the trees, that this would not be a problem all the time, but I like the trees, okay? So, shut up. Anyway, so this is kind of the, satellite city sort of concept in Ponderosa. You can see there's lots of apartments, lots of offices, a few hotels. So, yeah, pretty great, pretty awesome. You can see lots of, also it's right next to a university, so there's going to be a need for higher density, so this definitely fulfills that. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff that isn't filled in. I'm going to let the game do the rest of that. I just wanted to have this be on my own terms, Some things need to not be random. At this time, though, I must show you the greatest creation I have ever created. It is my favorite thing. So you can see this apartment complex. And it's, obviously spliced together. Had some fun with that. But what's very important is what it's on top of. It's the Kirkland Signature Apartments. I stayed up until 3 o'clock working on this. And It's so good. I love it. And I know this is not technically an original idea, like Costco is doing that. They're this kind of idea, but I wanted to bring this in because I love it so much. And I love Costco, but I hate their big parking lots. So it definitely looks kind of awesome, and I am very proud of it. And then over here, there's a couple gaps where, there would be like emergency exits to the outside. Here's the loading dock back here. These people don't have great views, and that's okay. They'll get over it. You can see the street is lined. This would be another spot with emergency doors. So yeah, I mean, kind of awesome. Not even going to be humble about it. I am genuinely so proud of this. I can't even call it a monstrosity. Like, it looks so nice. So everyone please clap, because I am so proud. You can also see I connected up this railway station right here. This will be the first stop from the Union Station downtown. There are, there's light rail serving downtown, East Bank, so they don't need to have a commuter rail station as well. I want the commuter rail to be more for farther out destinations, and this is going to be the first, because I do not intend on going crazy on stops. There will be a stop for Ponderosa, and then maybe 2 for the next town out here, 1 out here. It's not going to be very many, so it'll be fast, easy transportation, which is important. So that is what I've been working on. Oh, also, this right here, Grand Island State Park, because we're going to go with the story that once upon a time, this used to be the ocean, or like a massive lake or something, and this was an island, and then it dried up, and now it's not an island, but they're still calling it an island, that vibe. I got my inspiration, obviously, from Salt Lake, because there was Lake Bonneville, and then there wasn't, because it stopped being there. So I did build the entrance to it. It's very nice, very fun. It's a state park, not a national park, but it's fine. It'll work. And then over here, for those who are not so interested in a long bike ride or hiking or camping, but still want a little view, there's this kind of hill over on this side that you can walk on a paved path up to, not get your shoes dirty, and still get kind of a cool view. You can see downtown kind of peeks out from there. You can see Red River National Park, obviously a really good view of Grand Island. And then just to make it as easily accessible as possible, eventually this will be, there'll be development all around it, but there's this pedestrian path over the freeway to make sure that people can easily access it on foot, even if they're on the other side of the freeway. So, love that. There's kind of the overview of everything I have been working on recently. I am very proud. Oh, I was going to show you guys. So this little neighborhood is the most suburban hellscape I have ever created, but I kind of like it. I put it right at the bottom, right next to City Hall. It's very master planned and very just master planned. But I should note that all of these are twin homes and then townhomes, so this is all high density still. It just looks like a very copy-paste suburban neighborhood, which is kind of fun and gross at the same time. And then there's these cool modern townhomes along here. And up here also, this is the university hospital, so that's great. There were frat houses on the workshop, so I did include them, but they are far away from the city, because if the frats get out of control, they will be far away from everything. So looking out for the good of humanity. So next, I have a few other things I want to show you before we press play and let Ponderosa grow. I've already got it all zoned, all ready to go, but I wanted it to grow on the video, so that's what we're going to do. A few things that I want to note. The zoo is going to go right in here, and it's going to be called the Damn Zoo because it's next to the dam, and I just love dam jokes so much. So that's what it's going to be, and anyone who thinks that's dumb can fight me, because it's the best thing I've ever done, and I am very proud of it. I also have all of the streets named. I really went for it. Like, we'll come in here, you can see all of the street names in Ponderosa are tree themed because Ponderosa is a tree. So, but I did them alphabetical, and so I mean alder, birch, cypress, dogwood, elm, fir, gooseberry, hemlock, inkwood, juniper, kapok. I had to Google some, obviously. Linden, maple, nogal, oak, Ponderosa Parkway fits in with the alphabet as well. Quercus? I don't know how that's pronounced, but that's the only Q name I could find for a tree. Redwood, sequoia, over here, teakwood, ulmus, veronia, walnut, whatever the crap that is, yucca, and ziziphus. And then going the other way, also, this is the first time ever in City Skylines that I've been able to get a whole range of the entire alphabet for my street names, that I've had something big enough that I've been able to do that. And then going this way, you've got just letters from Z all the way down to A is down over in here somewhere, I think. B Street, A Street, yeah, right here. So after A Street, can't start over because that wouldn't make sense. So I started over with Z's and I'm doing national parks. So Zion, White Sands, there's not one that starts with a Y, Voyagers, Theodore Roosevelt, Saguaro, Pinnacles, and this rail line is the border of the city of Ponderosa for this section, so I'm not growing it past there at this point, so I haven't named those streets, but that's kind of the idea with the street names. I don't know if y'all care about the street names, but I care about the street names, so I'm going to give you a really elaborate tour of those, obviously. And then I was talking about the borders of the city, so I will show you exactly what's going on. So Ponderosa is kind of a weird shape. A lot of it is going to be houses in the foothills. This is going to be fairly untouched. I don't want to get rid of all of these trees. And then you can see that it's, comes down in here. And then all of these, anything with 2 R's in front, it's a neighborhood of Red River. So there's tons of neighborhoods: Waterside, North Lake, Grandview, River Run, Mesa Bend, all of those all the way up. I did start the layout for the North River neighborhood. I want this to be like a really cool kind of modern one, and also I wanted to get the train station in while I was thinking about it because I had a cool idea. There's this canal that comes over, it's filled up this lake. So North Valley, Newfield, those are the last neighborhoods. So Red River is a huge city, and then the city of Grand Island kind of juts out into the middle. So that's fun. Tercero means third in Spanish. There's 3 of these little mountains, and this one looks like a nipple, so I named it Nipple Rock. And I think it's very charming. And then Solitude Rock, because there's one more. Oh no. That's scary. Anyway, Redstone up in here. The main street will kind of look up towards this bluff right there, so that'll be kind of cool. This tiny town will be called Peaks, and it'll be, if any of you are from Utah, if you're familiar with the town of Manaway, it's a notorious speed trap because there's the highway going through it. This is going to be a similar idea, where it's a tiny town, a couple hundred people, but it's a speed trap. That's what's going on over here. And then in here, there's Ironton. That's going to be a big mining town, along with Minersville, American Park. This is where we're going to start getting into like the, conservative suburbs kind of things. Like Ponderosa is, obviously going to be super liberal, along with Red Cliff, Small Rock. All of those are still very liberal. I don't know what all of these little icons under the things are. That's weird. Anyway, one more detail about Ponderosa I want to mention really quick. There's this huge park at the edge. It's called Ponderosa Hill, and it is a good view of everything. And then the other hill is where City Hall is. And then all of these tree-lined streets in Ponderosa, and then there are a few that aren't tree-lined, they are all bike lanes. So Ponderosa has an extensive biking network, whereas Red River has an extensive pedestrian walkway network and a lot less of the bike lanes. But anyway, without further ado, we're going to press play and we are going to let it grow, and it's going to be so fun. And then I will probably think of more things to show you guys while it's going. So let's do this. I'm very nervous. I have been working on this for forever. And here's the zoning map, what it'll look like. Obviously a pretty good mix. Up here, less of a mix, but still it works. It'll be fine. And you can see we're almost up to 70,000. I so far have felt really proud. You can see I've got lots of buses going on. Mostly it's the buses that are causing the most traffic issues. I'll see if I can find the light rail. I mean, here's a line. Yeah, you can see this guy right here. Just doodling right along. So fun, so cute. He's doing an amazing job. The lines coming into downtown, I noticed this a little bit earlier. This station is out of control. And all of these people, I think, so I have the purple line, the green line, and then there's the orange line. And purple does not stop here. So I think all of these people are trying to get on the green line. Or maybe it's orange. There aren't very many spots where they all come through in the same place. Oh, purple does stop there. Before it wasn't, and I was so confused. Obviously, people love using mass transit, and I do not know how to, like, get any more people served with these trains, but we're doing our best. I actually, and then you can see trains come over through here. Just looks very nice, very fun. And Ponderosa is just filling right in. Obviously, I did lots of higher density to cater towards the students of Ponderosa University. Definitely fits in really well. I selected a special theme, or I guess I put together a special theme for it. Oh look, KFC and Burger King, that's so fun for them. I put in some office zoning, but I kind of am thinking I didn't select any office buildings to go in it. Yep, that's what it is. So what I'll do quickly is I'll just come in here. Oh, well, now he's going. What the heck? That's really annoying. I guess it's fine. We'll just do some higher density commercial, and we'll call it a day on that. Some of these spots. Some offices came in. I don't know why it's so few, though. Sometimes the things this game does just baffle me. I don't know what to do about it, but we'll see if that helps. I think this looks very nice. It's very green, lots of trees. It's just sprouting up like a little rose, and then there's all of these apartments and condos. What I might do is come in later and replace some of these with the pieces that are corner pieces, so that there's not just a bunch of random walls. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling about that later on, but I'm very pleased with how this is turning out. Obviously, not tons of variety in what I picked, because I did want it to stay, I didn't want all the buildings to be tall, is what I'm getting at. So a lot of these buildings are pretty similar looking, but definitely high density, they're definitely going to serve the purpose that I wanted them to, because over here, obviously, there's, oh no, the university is on fire. That is a bummer. Thoughts and prayers, you guys. Thoughts and prayers. Bummer, dude. So, because obviously the university is pretty central, so I wanted some higher density housing over in here, Over on this side, I thought it would be appropriate to have some as well. And then, because there's going to be another university right in here, I put some more in that area. So there is, all things considered, I mean, there's this pocket, this little pocket, and then up in here. That's all of the low density there is. The rest of it is higher density, which I think is important for, I mean, an area that has 2 big universities and a big focus is on transit. So it's doing what I want it to do. And we can look over here. I'll need to address this situation. Lots of people are moving here. They're excited to be here, but their cars are causing problems. I will also need to figure out the garbage collection situation over here. I do want to quickly look at the traffic flow. I will have it continue playing. Okay, we are still at 71. Obviously, there's some trouble. This trouble spot. Obviously, all of the people just desperately trying to get into Ponderosa, which, can you blame them? It's a lovely city. And then most of the traffic within Ponderosa is pretty okay. There's a couple trouble spots, but I mean, you know, whatever. It's really not too bad. Looks like, I mean, at the interchanges there's some higher volume, which again makes sense. All of the people just desperately trying to make their way into Ponderosa. All I'm saying is this is where I would choose to live if this was real life, which it's not, unfortunately. And then obviously you've got this lineup of cars coming into downtown. I feel like there's not tons you can do about traffic flow in downtown at a certain point, just because, you know, there's all the buses, there's the trains, there's people just trying to get everywhere. So we're doing the best we can with what we have is basically what I'm saying here. I think for the most part it's working. This also feels like it's being a little bit dramatic. Like, it's saying this is red. Barely even a line. Like, you know what I mean? Feels a little bit on the dramatic side. So over in here where the roads are kind of a mess, still not bad. Obviously there's some lines here with the trains getting caught up in it. It's kind of annoying, but it's okay. Over here, East Bank. I'm pretty sure a lot of these spots are just red because that's where I placed bus stops. So, oh, now we're up to 73. So really, not too shabby. I'll have to figure out this situation later on, but, you know, I'll get to it when I get to it. So there you go. Ponderosa is nice and filled in. And see, just looks so nice and developed. All of these fortunate people who get to live right next to the Kirkland Signature Apartments. Jealous of them. There are 1,000 Buffalo Wild Wings over here. Love that. It's really great. Also, I would just like to point out, I picked out like this really pretty shade of green for this line and for the commuter rail, because, you know, it's running through Ponderosa, which, oh, look at all these people who took the train. Love it. Wait, if I can pause this. 46? That's not bad for just one stop. I am actually very proud. I have not created a mass transit system as functional as this one is. There's definitely still problems with it, but it's working. It's doing, well. Oh, I'll need to go in and tell these guys they don't have to stop. That's not required. Silly gooses. Oh, the other thing I wanted to look at with you guys is I want to see the ridership numbers. Let's see. So the buses, we're doing really great on those. So 3,100 per week out of 83,000. I mean, it's not like a huge percentage, but that is solid. The light rail is 399 per week, which could use work. These trains are, like the commuter rail, those are 485. So definitely want to get the numbers up, but we are getting there for sure. I'm very pleased with that. You also might have noticed it's a little laggy. I'm hoping to get more RAM for my computer soon. And yeah, there we go. There is Red River. I'll put this back into camera mode so you can get a view. It's really starting to come together. It really does feel like a fairly real city. Like it feels kind of real. This area looks a little strange, but like it's coming together. I'm really happy with it. So yeah, let me know if you have any ideas, things I should work on in the future. I should note I have accepted a new job, which will have me away from home very often. So I won't be able to be doing this as often as I would like to. For basically the entire month of April, I will be away training. So I won't be able to really do this much at all, probably, which is kind of a bummer. But I was thinking I have my laptop, which has SimCity 4 on it. So if you guys would be interested in some sort of like SimCity content, even though it's like a million years old, I can probably hook you up. So anyway, there you go. Thank you for watching. I seriously am just so proud of how this is coming along. So I will see you guys next time, whenever that ends up being.